Hello, and thank you for joining me for the 7th episode of The Corner Office. Today's special guest is a good friend of mine. He's Mike Maxwell, VP of Infrastructure and CIO for the Calgary Airport Authority. Today, we're coming to you live from Citizen Brewing outside of Calgary. It's a great venue, good food, good beer. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, Mike, welcome to The Corner Office.
Thanks, Steven.
It's good to have you here. What are you drinking?
Well, today I actually have a beer from one of our local craft breweries. I work at the YYC airport, so one thing we like to do is support local economy, local business, so I do my best to do that. And so I'm having a Citizen Belma and Louise New England Pale Ale. It is a strong ale, which again, I think in today's trying times, a little extra alcohol in the beer doesn't hurt, keeps me healthy. So that's what I'm drinking.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Gotta love a strong beer, right? Something put hair on your chest.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm actually drinking a Grange Band Hazy PA out of Digby, Nova Scotia, which of course, as you know, as a fellow Maritimer, is just a couple hours from here. So it's a great beer.
I try to do a whole Colbert, John Oliver type interview where there's just no structure or order to it, and see how frazzled you get. But first of all, I'm really excited to be chatting with you. You know, you're not only a colleague of mine, but we've been able to spend some time together as friends, both in Nova Scotia, like you indicated, and also staying in touch as I've moved on to other roles throughout the country. So, Steve, you've always been a great friend, and certainly understanding the importance of staying connected and building the community. So that's I'm excited to be here and share that with you today. So good for
Cheers.
you.
Let's drink to that then. Cheers. All right. Well, let's get right to the first question then. What is the best hotel experience or holiday experience that you've ever had, Mike?
Well, I've been fortunate. I mean, working in the aviation industry, I do travel a little bit, but I think the thing that comes to mind most recently, my oldest son, Tristan, lives in Germany outside of Frankfurt in a town called Mainz, and it's his first job out of university, so he's starting off his career, and so his apartment was about the size of a janitor closet. And so when we go visit with him, we would actually stay at the AC Mainz Hotel. It's a Marriott property, just across from this train station. And so we've stayed there a few times, and we got to know the staff and we got to know the people, and they've kind of always made sure that we had the same room. And it was interesting because we were there visiting family, but even when we go to that local hotel, it's almost like they've become a part of our extended family, and they've always made us feel really welcome, and they recognize us when we come and go. And so really hospitality is about connection, right? And so for me and my wife Cindy, that's really was important, because again, that's an important part of the world for us now that we have our son living there. And the news is he's got a little bigger apartment, which being under a little bit of isolation, it helps to have a little bit more space. But that's probably the place that I'd suggest is the most memorable for me.
Well, that's good. All right, so tell me your best clean, dad joke or pun that you've got going on there, Mike.
Well, I think I think about all the things that are coming out of the pandemic, and one thing that for me has become so prevalent is the meme. And so one of the best memes I've seen is the one that says, it's just a box with some text in it that says, "Can we uninstall 2020 and reinstall it again? This has a virus. This version has a virus." And for me, being a technologist, that it's kind of clever, but also I think there's a lot of people that would like to reboot 2020 or even just move on to 21. It's been a challenging year.
Yeah, for certain. I was just thinking about you mentioned your back to your son there in his apartment being the size of a janitor's closet. I was thinking, do you know what a janitor jumps out and says during Halloween?
No, I do not, Steve.
Supplies.
That's a good one. Isn't it kind of a rule that you're not supposed to upstage the guest? Isn't that Didn't I sign a contract, or wasn't that in my rider?
I didn't learn anything from Letterman. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes then. Tell me, of course, as an organization, the Calgary Airport Authority, what are you folks doing? I mean, you guys have been hit hard by this COVID-19 just as much as the hospitality industry has. What are you folks doing to combat the COVID-19 crisis?
Look, it's a bit of a stark reality for us. I mean, we've been actually doing a lot of things to try to adjust to our new realities. And the greatest reality is over 90% of our business or our operational day has gone away. So when you think about us as an international airport that's just on the back end of a major infrastructure build, and all of the challenges that managing the debt that comes with a large infrastructure build, it puts us in a really challenging position. So there's some tactical things that were pretty straightforward and easy for us. Extra cleaning, certainly a lot of outreach and communications and alignment with media on how to come to the airport, stay safe. But the biggest reality is that we've actually had to do some very serious things. We all but canceled our entire capital program. So all of the projects that keeps a lot of our folks busy, especially on my team on the construction and engineering side of the business. That team was dramatically impacted by the fact that we just didn't have the opportunity to keep working on our capital program. We also had to lay off a third of our workforce. That's not even including some of the contracted resources that obviously left us too. So there's been other things that have happened through the federal government with some rent relief and things that does give us, certainly a higher opportunity for sustaining through these dark times. But the reality is we're still seeing decline today. May 4th, we are still seeing reductions, and we expect that probably for another 45, 60 days that we'll continue to see very, very little volume. And then, hopefully, as, restrictions are relaxed and some positive results from tracking of cases and things, that we will start to see some increase. But that's, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know, with many flights, of course, grounded between Canada and the US, and then of course within Canada itself, it's you're almost at the mercy of the airlines as well to get back going before the airport can start opening up. So it's definitely a challenging time.
Yeah, and it's an industry. It's affecting all of aviation, and I would say that in some cases the airlines really are the front line of the impact. WestJet Airlines, who's our hub carrier, and we share Calgary as our home base. They've gone through some 60-70% staff reductions, and again lots of aircraft that just aren't in the air making money right now. But the focus is this is temporary. We are going to get through this. So for me, as a vice president and leader in the organization, what can I be doing to help recognize that being prepared for the recovery and being prepared to ensure that when things start to come back, that we can re-engage the people and be in the best possible position to support this industry and get it back to where I know it will get back to. Certainly, I believe air travel, whether it's within your province, across the country, or even internationally, it's a reality, and a lot of people really consider that a part of their lives, whether it's vacationing or work. And so I believe it's going to come back. I just certainly there's kind of a few things that we need to focus or hopefully see. Vaccine would be a great one to give us that confidence.
Yep.
we need to see, the massive impacts to the economy, especially from an employment perspective. People need to have that disposable income or that income to be able to afford those vacations,
Yeah.
right? And finally, again, just overall consumer confidence, right?
Yeah.
That it's something that's safe to do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Cool. So let's keep moving on then. Next question, of course. What's the first thing you're planning on doing once we all emerge from this?
Well, personally, the first thing I'm doing is going to Germany. I'm going to see my son and probably stay at the AC Mainz Hotel, but I'm going to travel, right? It's much like the Max 8s. I mean, I remember there was things that we talked about a lot, but now we don't even talk about anymore. The grounding of that aircraft, my belief and commitment is that, I'm going to be part of the people that support the industry. Having my son in Germany while this is all going on, it's challenging, but realizing that when this is done, Germany's a 8 or 9 hour flight away, and that we can get out there and see him and spend some time there in a great part of the world. The other thing that I believe in my heart of hearts is we're going to come out of this stronger. Right. So we are, as much as possible, we're going to make lemonade, right? There's some things that we just have a tremendous opportunity now to focus on, so that when we start to recover as an industry, that we can be better. We've actually had to have some really tough discussions with some of our partners, looked them in the eye and said, look, we have to find creative ways to work through our challenges with financial position and stuff. And I would say that everybody in the YYC community has been extremely supportive. So I think that's something else I would say is when we come out of this, I'll definitely be having a lot of, thank you beverages and appreciation get-togethers with a lot of our partners and a lot of the people that are really making it survivable for us.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you go through the trenches with somebody, especially in something like this, your bonds are bound to be a little bit stronger, for sure.
Right.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Where do you see the industry going, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years? I know, Mike, working with you at your various, airport positions that you've held, you've always been kind of on the forefront of technology. You were one of the first to implement free Wi-Fi for airports. I remember helping you with that a long time ago. So, what are you kind of seeing as the next big step in the airport industry, or travel industry, I should say?
Yeah, I think, the next big thing in the travel industry is, I think like our CEO at the authority says, look, we're not losing sight of our strategy. It's paused, right? So again, I think getting back to our strategy where we're really ultimately focused on providing a remarkable experience to all of our guests is ultimately, again, where we've got to play. But, the reality is that we have to get through, this downturn, which has taken, like our passenger numbers in 2020 is going to be projected to be equal to the same as 1996.
Wow.
For us to get back to 2019 levels, we don't see that happening in 6 months. In fact, we see it happening in 2 or 3 years. So in that time of the industry coming back, we have to be hugely focused on efficiency, hugely focused on cost or value for money, and a lot of that does come through. How do we really change the way that you get on a plane, from a security and baggage and check-in, and make it frictionless and seamless, and probably now contactless. One of our new realities. So I think that's going to be the big focus for us, or certainly, as you say, the people that are more of the innovative change agents, is how do we really support this recovery and buy us the time we need to get back to the 18 million passengers that Calgary was at before, not the 6.5 million that we're projected to be this year.
Wow, 1996. That's something else. I mean, I remember my waist size in 1996. It was around a 28 or 29, let alone what it is now.
The same.
Yeah, I think I'm half the man I was then. Where I am now. I'm twice the man I am today. That's what it is. Yeah, wow, that's quite a hit in terms of volume. It's an unbelievable hit. Wow.
Yeah, and I think, for us, and again, why I really appreciated you reaching out and to jump on this. What do we call this? Podcast interview?
It's a pet project, maybe, something like that.
More now than ever before, we have to focus on community, right? And we have to focus on how do we come together and recognize the relationships we have and the energy we have with each other, and ensure that we're all pulling on the rope together and going to get through this. Some people are being impacted a lot worse than others, but the reality is, I believe community is what's going to help us come out of this strong and come out of this better than we were before.
You've said any better, Mike. Very good. Well, listen, thank you very much for being on the Corner Office. Greatly appreciate your time, man. It's been good to catch up, and I look forward to us all getting back to normal and us traveling again, and hopefully soon we can both be together back at Citizen Brewing, having another brew, or 6 or 12.
I'm going to hold you to that, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for episode 7 of the Corner Office. I hope you've enjoyed it. A great big thanks to Mike Maxwell for being my guest tonight. As mentioned, Mike is the CIO and VP of Infrastructure over the Calgary Airport Authority. For more information on Mike, you can check out his LinkedIn profile at www.linkedin.com/in/NSM Max/. And for more information on Safety NetAccess, our products and our services, please visit www.safetynetaccess.com. Until next time, everybody, be safe, be well, and hey, let's be happy too. Take care, everyone, and cheers.